The Crash Course Podcast is brought to you in part by DerbyParts.com, Smashmasters Derby Parts, Derby Inc. Magazine, Live It, Breathe It, Be It, Derby Inc. The 2014 Bash for Cash, May 24th and 25th, Washington Courthouse, Ohio. And the Keystone National, a Bo Lockwood Motorsports production, July 19th at the Jefferson County Fairgrounds in Brookville, Pennsylvania. This is the Crash Course Demolition Derby Podcast, recorded live at the FingerLakes1.com studios in downtown Seneca Falls, New York. And now your host, Chris Marport.
Good afternoon, good evening, good day. Welcome to episode number 25 of the Crash Course. We got Steve Bucknam joining us on the Bash for Cash Skype hotline. We've got Josh Decker joining us here in studio. Also got Brian Tompkins here with us. We've got Cory Horton on deck. We're getting a hold of Cory here in just a few minutes. He's dedicated his entire season to the Wounded Warrior Project. He's going to be telling us a little bit more about that when we get him on the line. And then we've also got the one and only Jack Teagarden, who's going to be joining us here in a little bit.
Legend.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun talking with him. We saw him run in person at the Blizzard Bash last November, and the feedback today has been great in hearing back about everybody. A number of people said, "Did you really get the Jack Teagarden?" It's like, yeah, as far as I know. I mean, that's who answered the phone.
Dude, his Blizzard Bash car was so nasty. It was so heavy. It looked like it was like breaking the blacktop under it when he was driving. It was crazy how heavy it was.
Yeah, that was a two-door that he had that had pretty much
boxcar,
everything welded together.
He had a 67
subframe.
Yeah, he had a subframe bolted in underneath the boxcar. And dude, I went to go like hit it, just like hit it with your hand. It was just like, yeah, this is gonna hurt somebody.
Yeah, I've watched that on the DVD a couple times. That was a neat show. I'd like to have been there for obviously to see that.
You know you're losing brain cells when you're running that kind of class because when they hit, it's just like two dump trucks just boom. It's like your brain is the only thing moving. Yeah, it just hits the front of your skull.
It's that soft stuff inside. That's the only thing you got to worry about.
Everything has to stop, and at some point the squishy stuff keeps moving.
Yeah, definitely.
How are things up there for you, Steve?
Pretty good. The sun's out today, so it's a beautiful day, and they're saying it's going to be possibly in the 50s on Thursday, but then it's New Hampshire, so they said it could also snow on Thursday, so we'll see what happens.
Yeah,
that happened here last week.
It's derby weather right now. When that sun cracks, it's like, I got to get in the garage. I got to get in the garage.
Yeah, I'm
You're missing
getting the
days
itch to get the Cadillac back in Dad's garage.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Did you put the front end back on it yet?
No.
No way. That's so far away.
Yeah, I've got to find a way.
Not in his world.
I got to find a way to skirt around some rules for the Cuca Clash, and then I'm gonna start building to put stuff together.
I gotta say, I'm impressed by the number of people that are asking good questions. I'm also a little annoyed with some of the people that are asking dumb questions about the Cuca Clash. But for the most part, the response has been really good. And the thing is the rules that we put out there are making people think.
Yeah,
and they're working for the most part. They're honoring the agreement that we have as promoter builder relationship. They're honoring that, and they're not breaking the rules.
Hey,
they're doing a good job with that, so I'm really happy.
It does say no welding on the frame at all.
That's right.
But nowhere does it say that I can't fill the frame from front to back with concrete.
Go ahead.
Just want to get that out there amongst friends.
Go ahead. I'll break that right in half.
Go ahead.
No.
If you want to fill that full of concrete, you go ahead and bring it. And like I've said to a million different drivers, a million different times, bring a good set of torches and a legal trailer because you're going to need both.
I don't think the
I'm not bringing either.
This is Josh Decker. He doesn't get anything like that.
Every time I've ever gone to Penn though, I've always had a ton of stuff to cut through inspection line, and my cars are always the junkest ones there, and I'm always cutting the most of everybody. So I will bring my torches because I'll expect
Bring your torches.
Yeah,
bring your torches. And now, what container was he doing? Conrail or CSX when he ships your car out there? Jesse from Performance Revenge.
I wish Jesse. That'd be so awesome.
Hey,
I can do my whole season from him.
Your Winter Slam car is ready to go again, man. I saw pictures of it. It's ready to go.
That's awesome.
You might as well ship it back here.
Yeah, except for he pulled the motor and tranny and the rear out of it.
It's beginning to look like we got Cory Horton coming up here. It's beginning to look like we're going to be spending some time in Minnesota here in August. Melissa and I are going to be taking some time and going up there and taping a derby that most likely we got to wait for the final stuff to come through that Darren Agard is putting on, and I think you're running the night before.
Yes.
That's what I hear. I don't know if this is true or not.
Okay, I didn't know we were throwing it out there, but I heard it possibly true. I get to maybe
there's
run
some more.
a buddy.
We're still waiting. We're still waiting for the details of it. But it's our anniversary weekend, so if I'm taking anybody to go work for me, it's going to be my wife.
Oh, I thought you were going to say me.
Well, if you got a ride up there, I kind of got to take you too.
How exciting is that?
You'd rather snuggle Mrs. Marquardt.
I would definitely rather snuggle Mrs. Marquardt than you. You who's criticizing me for drinking full throttle over there is you have a McDonald's glass in your hand.
That's the biggest thing I could find to put my Captain Morgan in. It's okay.
Fight.
Hey,
I can't wait. Actually, stop for a second because he brought up a great point.
What?
I can run a car.
He's got short-term memory problems.
I do.
Like we say something and he's completely off topic.
I'm still on thinking of running.
He's got new Focus gum.
Yeah, I just bought it. Focus.
It's gonna help him. It's gonna help him hit six figures
right
this
now.
year selling.
No, but I got to say thank you to Jesse Keel because he is talking about throwing me in another car, and that would be so awesome. But he's gonna run in the same night, which is really he didn't even get to watch me run on the last car,
That was tough.
Yeah, and I would love to run with him, and he builds good stuff.
Yeah.
But now remember how hard they hit out there? We were on ice.
Yeah.
Let's go back to dirt. Like I said to him, I don't know. Let me see this track first. Some of you guys are nuts.
Hey, not to change the subject quick, but congratulations to the Romulus Warriors lady high school basketball team, 25-0 state champions.
Nice.
First time ever. It was funny. They played in the semifinals Saturday. And they wwere 24-0 going into this game, and they interviewed the point guard or whatever for the team they were playing, who happened to be 8-10. And they said, "Well, they're pretty good, but they're kind of big and slow. We think we can run by them." And it was Romulus was up 40-17 at halftime, and it didn't get any better from there. So,
yikes, dude.
yeah. So they brought home the trophy yesterday. They had a large procession, troopers escort, sheriff's deputies escort, dozen fire trucks, bunch of people in the hamlet of Romulus. So. Congratulations.
Yeah, you said Hamlet.
Steve Bucknam won the annual championship twice last year.
Sure did.
Didn't he win the original basketball championship?
He won the girls' high school championship twice.
Awesome.
That's awesome.
I won the women's basketball championship like 7 times.
Yeah.
You are the man.
Those girls got nothing on me.
That's awesome. Good thing Cory Horton was here to join us for that part of it, right?
Right.
That's right.
I gotta find Cory's.
Corey, you're selling some bumpers today. I seen. Was that you that had bumpers?
Yeah.
For sale? All right. I don't know if you wanted to ship one half price out this way. But I'll take one half. I'll take one half
You can
price.
come pick them up.
No, too far. Too far.
Not that far.
It's far.
Corey's from up in the Dunkirk area. Spends a lot of time in the Chautauqua County Fair. Got a pretty good arsenal of cars lined up for this year. But one of the interesting things about his season was we were talking to him at the banquet in Owego. Is his whole season's being dedicated as a fundraiser of sorts for the Wounded Warrior Project, which I think is an awesome situation. I know there's a few. Brian will make a joke about anything, but there's one thing that he doesn't joke about. It's the armed forces, folks. He doesn't. There's no room to laugh whatsoever. And when Cory started telling me about this at the banquet, I went over and got Brian and said, explain more of this to him, and Brian was all about it. So Cory, I just wanted to first say thanks, for what you're doing there, but also if you could kind of first tell us a little bit more about how this whole program has come about and how it's going to work for this year.
Yeah, and well, basically, it's not just this year. It's this year and going forward into future years. I just see a lot of friends that have been out, in the service, done their part, and a lot of them have come back not right, and I think a lot of people aren't doing enough to thank the men and women that go out and serve for us so we can enjoy the things we do back home, and
Sure. Absolutely.
And I just want to be a part of making a difference for those men and women and their families. And a lot of what I'm doing is, it doesn't matter where I run or what the purse is, it's when I run, it's going to be a legitimate program where 100% of, prize money goes to Wounded Warrior. And I've been in the works lately with my accountant trying to dance around some of the New York State tax law and things of that nature. That's been slowing me down a little bit. And I've also been in contact with my attorney writing up some concrete literature. He did bring me a set of agreements that I looked through and found, a couple of places that could be construed as loopholes. So I sent him back to the drawing board with that because, I am willing to have other people come on board with this, but it's not going to be one of those crying sob stories of, hey, I want money to build my derby car. You know, it's as I move forward, I'm going to start pursuing some sponsorships, and in order to do that, you know, we need to make sure that the money goes exactly where we're saying it's going.
Definitely.
Absolutely.
So that's going to be an airtight situation where, you know, if somebody agrees to run for this cause, then they're going to be locked into that agreement. So,
are you going to have to change your driving style at all so that you finish closer to the top and make more money for the fundraiser?
I'm sorry, what was that?
Are you going to have to change your driving style at all so you finish closer to the front and get more money for the fundraisers?
No, that's why we're going around this year, and we're going to visit some more shows, meet up with some people, and we've already locked down our trip to Bash for Cash, so we're going to be talking to a lot of different guys on building styles and how they do things, what works, what doesn't, you know, and we're still going to drive the same way. I mean, it's going to be, you know, balls to the wall and get into the money, and the only way we're going to do that is build better cars and go to more shows, and that's part of the sponsorship, is to make sure we can get around to more shows in a year and try and get into those top spots where we're able to be competitive. And like you said, I got a couple pretty solid cars this year, so I'm hoping to get into some money this year and, you know, let everybody know that we're not going to be playing around going forward with this. So,
you going to tell anybody what you got, or is that still one of the classified pieces of information as you go forward this year?
No, I mean, it's not classified. You know, a lot of people were wondering the same thing locally. You know, I'm got the 65 T-Bird that I'm taking out, and bringing my Suicide Lincoln out to Cuba to play with the boys, and invested a lot of money this year to be able to go out and be a little more competitive. And, you know, maybe this year we don't make it into the money, but, you know, we're going to put on a hell of a show, and we're going to let people know what we're about and that we're there. So,
and where Cory lives is one of the state's most difficult county fair derbies whatsoever. They have Tuesday night at the Chautauqua County Fair as qualifying night. They run 5 heats. They take 3 out of each heat, and they run all the 4s and 6s together. Then they run mid-size, then they run an 80s class, and they run Imperials and Old Iron all together. And they are heavy cars. And then from there, last year, I think Tuesday night they had 75 cars, and then on Sunday, championship night, they do all that again. And if you bring a fresh car, you can go right to the feature from there. The defending feature winner from the year before goes directly to the feature with the fresh cars. They get F1. That's their number. All the cars that qualify on Tuesday are F2 through whatever, and then they requalify everybody from Sunday's qualifying program in the same format. So last year there was like 30-some compact cars in one heat, and they took 3. And and they are so hard. They're so hard out there, and it's one of the last places where the Imperials run truly in general population. They run in the same qualifying heats as all the Old Iron stuff, and they run in the same feature as everybody. And it is a hard derby. Wow. Not an easy place to win.
It almost sounds like the that place where you and I grew up watching derbies. How they used to be with like 30 cars in a heat and 1 or 2 cars making it out of there.
No.
Yeah, that was everywhere though. We're not special.
Yeah, oh yeah, dude. My county fair was just Imperials in every heat. I mean, I remember 3-4 Imperials in a heat, just everywhere. Those are the old days, man. I think that was everywhere around here.
Yeah, and like you say, it's pretty hard to, you know, qualify in there, because not only do you have real hard cars with all those Imperials, but I mean you have, you know, some top class drivers out there.
The Elmans, Hank Pensick.
So, I mean,
the Elmans, Hank Pensick, Pat Osmond. Eric Remington, the Riddles,
lots of good
the
drivers.
list goes on, and those are just full size guys. The Glaunyaks, Dave King, Brian Gonzalez, those are all smaller car drivers. Just the list goes on, and the great drivers out there.
Yeah, I mean, and the years that these guys have put in, you know, it's same thing with Wayne and Dennis Clemens. You know, 25 years they've been at it. You know, so there's a lot of good, smart drivers out there that really know how to how to turn it on, and it's not one of the bump and run derbies in our area anyways. I mean, it's a real heavy foot derby, so, you know, we're going to take a car out there and see if we can get something done this year and get into qualifying. And like I said, I'm pretty excited to be coming out to Cuba, first time running out there. I hope I can get everything buttoned up in time and meet Tack, you know, being the first time out there and kind of interpreting the rules the way I do. I'm definitely not trying to cheat, but I don't know how they tech their show. I don't know, you know, the guys out there, so I'm gonna do what I can by the rules I was given, and, you know, hopefully that'll be good enough and my car won't be underbuilt when I get there. So,
well, you're pretty much close. You've pretty much taken Ohio thought, so just overbuild and then cut at the show. Yeah, because remember, that's how Ohio thinks. So you're pretty close to them. So just take that approach.
Just make sure your torches are full and build the way you think you should be built. Then just bring a good set of torches with you. You'll be fine.
You know, down in Arkansas, the Ohio guys went through inspection. They put orange paint on wherever you have to. Now, they had awesome painted cars. They come back through. They pass us, man. I mean, there is orange on every panel, every edge, every piece. I like, what did you guys do? I mean, you guys went way overboard.
Ready to go, man.
Hey, they made it in there.
Absolutely.
You know?
Absolutely.
Yeah, and those guys, like I said, that's part of the reason why we're taking some trips this year. You know, we went out to Hartford last year and, you know, saw the show out there, and we're going to take the trip to Ohio and just get a consensus from guys, you know, what they're doing and what's going on around the country, and it helps a lot, you know, listening to your guys' show. I heard some of the different input from you guys and some of the guys we had on, so it definitely helps to know, you know, some of the competition you're up against and what they're bringing to the table.
And you guys said you're going to Bash for Cash. I don't know anybody that's not. Like, every single person I talk to is like, yeah, I already got my stuff booked. There's going to be people sleeping in their cars, guarantee it, because I know all the hotels are booked. Everyone's been set up their camp and stuff. Bash is going to be awesome this year.
Yeah.
You're saying?
Cory, I was just wondering if you'd considered, besides doing your, you know, donating any winnings you had, if it was possible, or if you had thought about actually setting up a table like for donations, because I know when we were in Minnesota, there was a group out there that was selling hats and gloves and some stuff, you know, just some other little things, and taking donations for Wounded Warriors. I didn't know if that was part of your plan also, or if you hadn't really thought about that yet, or, you know.
Well, I hadn't gotten to that stage yet. Like I said, I'm trying to work on the real specifics. I do have a couple other ideas in the works that actually goes along with that. And it's actually the entirety of it. We're going to be starting our own area around picking up some people here and there, and we're going to aptly name it Legacy Racing. And as we go forward next year and in the years following, we have some of the younger guys are wanting help building their cars and learning more about things, and even some of the younger girls, I mean 16, 17, they want to get into things. So what we're going to do is we're going to take them and kind of mold them into some of the future drivers and try and give them the idea that, you know, it's not always about getting the money. It's, you know, get out there, get the crowd on their feet,
enjoy
put on
yourself.
A show,
Yeah.
have the kids cheering, and the same thing, you know, if
Sign
I'm going to
autographs.
give away my parts and build their cars, you know, they're going to agree that this is for a good cause. It's going to be going to the right people. So
Absolutely.
Nah, great idea, man. Definitely great idea.
Definitely. That was
We'll
that was
support
definitely one of the best ideas I heard coming out of that party. It was, you know, I was out talking to somebody. Chris was like, "Come here," and I thought he was talking to somebody else. Then he brought me in, and, you know, you laid it out, and it was. I think it's definitely a great idea. I mean, I definitely think that's a cause that, you know, everybody, you know, period, should be behind, is, you know, to try to help these guys and girls, and, you know, and like the commercial says, you know, even if you can't see the scars are still there. You know, it's definitely something we should help with, and, you know, they're the reason we can, you know, crash cars and come on the TV and the computer and talk about crashing cars. So, I definitely hope we can get some more people behind you. Hopefully you can get some sponsors, and maybe if you can't get cash sponsors, if you can get product sponsors, maybe, something to help with you, for the building and stuff, that would be great too. But it's just one of those things, hopefully it's successful for you, and, Chris and I are definitely behind it, and I'm sure Josh is too. And I mean, anytime, we can do something to help you out, we're definitely here for that.
Yeah, I mean, as we move forward in the coming weeks, and I get that paperwork back from my attorney, and I hear more back from my CPA, and find out how we can get this, because that's the biggest concern is, well, if I donate, as a tax deductible, so we're going to work on that and make sure we hit the ground running with it, and when that happens, we'll be rolling out obviously a Facebook page, so if there's people around the country that wanna get in touch or want to help out and be a part of things, they could definitely do that. And it's something that I'll keep you guys in the loop on over the next few weeks. And like I said, once we get it rolling, I think it's only going to grow, and it's very beneficial. I think, and I think the people that have served are going to appreciate it. And
yeah, definitely.
And that's the thing. I mean, the Derbies, it's kind of a grassroots sort of, group. I mean, it's, it's kind of, basically what, America's about, the hardworking guy and hardworking girl. And, I mean, that's who supports the country, and that's, supports that's our soldiers.
Cory,
So, I mean,
Cory, I got a quick question, side note here. Quick question. Do you ever derby against Tom Dowd out way out where you are?
who was that?
Tommy Dowd? Do you guys
Who?
get that? Are you guys that far out?
Tom who?
Well, I just want to reiterate to everyone there's a $1,500 bounty for rolling
That's
Tommy
right.
Dowd over anywhere this year, and that's brought to you by me. And anybody that feels like rolling him over. But I got to say, Tommy just got an awesome guard motor. And
That is going to sound awesome when it's upside down.
Oh, absolutely. Well, he said, hey, I'm going to go out to the guard shop. You want to go with me? And I said, no, I'm sick of driving. So I go, what, are you picking up a new motor? Yeah, get a new motor. So I immediately text Jeremy, and I say, hey, make sure you give Dowd an extra water pump, because I'm going to drive right through the first one you give him. So when he got there, he actually had an extra water pump for Dowd. Which I thought was awesome.
that is great.
It's awesome.
Yeah. Tommy.
And, I did see that on Facebook, and I thought it was pretty comical. I see that, I'm not sure how you guys feel about each other. Hopefully it's all in good humor.
Absolutely.
I don't obviously want to see anybody get hurt, but
Absolutely.
I will say that if anybody tries to take my program here and run with it to try and get some free money or free car parts, that's exactly what's going to happen. Is we're going to dump out a hefty bounty, and we're going to get Decker to get everybody involved in it.
All right, I'm down for that.
But to make sure that this is straightforward, nobody's going to take advantage of it,
Yeah.
And if any of that's going on, or people around the country are hearing about that, and it's not commissioned by, the actual legal documentation, there's going to be consequences, because not something that should be taken advantage of, and that's something I definitely do not stand for. So,
Sure.
Absolutely.
If anybody wants to find out more about it, it is in the infancy stages. You get a hold of Cory on Facebook, and Cory, as he alluded to, he's going to keep us in the loop as things evolve. When Facebook pages and websites and all that other stuff come out, we're going to announce more of it here, and we'll move forward with it from there. Cory, I mean, is there any other contact information at this point that we need to know about?
Not really. I mean, if anybody has questions or can't reach me through Facebook, they're more than welcome to get in contact with you guys. You guys have my contact information, my cell number. Should still have my address on the books from Derby Inc. magazine. So if people want to send me any information or mail anything out to me, they can reach out to you guys if they're unable to get in touch with me. And
Cool.
And hopefully that'll streamline the process so they're not out hunting on Facebook. So.
Sure.
All
Sounds
right.
good, man.
Well, if anybody inquires with us, we'll definitely be passing that information along now that we got your okay.
All right. And like I said, I will keep you guys in the loop over the coming weeks and let you know where we stand and how far we're coming along with this. So
Sounds good, buddy.
Good well done, and well done, and keep it up.
All right. Well, we'll talk to you guys on the flip side.
Thanks, Cory.
Later.
Let me throw out there, I do play with a bunch of people on Facebook, which Tommy Dowd is one of them. That him and I, we actually kind of get along sometimes, and sometimes we don't. But we bust each other's balls huge on there. And I think that's part of fun of Facebook sometimes, because sometimes I am joking with people, and people will text me and say, like, yeah, I hate that guy too. It's like, well, actually, I like that guy.
But then there's sometimes where they think you're joking and you're grumpy.
Exactly. There are other times. But usually if I'm mad, people aren't going to hear about it. So most of the stuff that you see on me is me just kind of laughing. But if I'm mad, I usually don't throw it out there on Facebook.
Hey, I've been wanting I'm sorry. Go ahead, Mr.
We got Jack Teagarden coming up here just a few minutes, but first, a couple words from these good people.
The new rules are just right. Set aside July 19th for the reinvented Keystone Nationals. Again this summer, Bo Lockwood will host the Keystone Nationals at the Jefferson County Fairgrounds in Brookville, Pennsylvania. A revamped rulebook will help welcome an all-star field as the limited well division takes center stage and a feature paying $5,000 to win. Pre-entries for the stock division are already full. For more details, join the Keystone Nationals community online at www.facebook.com/Keystone Nationals. Once again, the Keystone Nationals, July 19th, 2014 at the Jefferson County Fairgrounds, Brookville, Pennsylvania. What better way to spend Memorial Day than seeing a bunch of cars being smashed? Spend the holiday with Smash Demolition Derbies as they again host the Bash for Cash at the Fayette County Fairgrounds in Washington Courthouse, Ohio. Planned for May 24th and 25th, the card is headlined by the co-main events, the $11,000 to win DerbyParts.com 80s newer class and the DerbyTees.com $10,000 to win Turn Back the Clock division. Other classes include full-size trucks, U-Compact, street stocks, and the 80s newer wire-up division. Gates open daily at 10 a.m. with action to follow at 4. For more information and details, visit the online home of Bash for Cash at www.smashitderby.com. New name, new promoters, new format. The annual Spring Derby, hosted at Fireman's Park in Cuba each June, was given a facelift this offseason, and the $3,500 to win Limited Well Championship is now known as the Smashed Empire Nationals. The event is set for June 7th, 2014. The event will be directed again by Jason Butts, with rule enforcement and inspection in the hands of Jeremy Hayduke and Derby Dog Productions. The Limited Well and 1,200 to win economy divisions will go back to a heats and featured format. The compact one and done will pay $1,200 to win, and the card includes trucks and the $1,100 to win compact team border war. General admission for adults and children over 8 years is $10. Kids age 7 and under are $5. Pit access is $20, and vendors can set up for $100. Admission gates open at 11 a.m. Pit gates open at 9. Inspection closes at 12:30, and action begins at 3. Be sure to go on Facebook and like the Smashed Empire Nationals, www.facebook.com/Smashed Empire Nationals, and check back for announcements and updates.
Ben just sent me a picture of me next to Jimmy Johnson's car after his heat. Look at that thing. Ben! That's pretty awesome, isn't it?
It is.
Excited to bring Jack Teagarden into the show. Jack, can you hear us okay?
Yes.
Great. Jack, welcome to the show. Excited to talk to you. I know we got pretty much a half hour here going forward. We got to be out of here right around 7 o'clock, and hopefully we can touch on all the topics. I know Josh was excited about this. Brian was looking forward to it. Steve was one of them that really turned us on to try and make this happen. So welcome to the show, and just kind of tell us about what you got out back of the house. I understand there's two pretty famous cars back there, Iron Maiden and the Enforcer.
Iron Maiden and the Enforcer are actually the same car.
Oh, okay. I thought there was two different cars. How about that?
No, Iron Maiden is what the car was called before we put the Enforcer paint scheme on it for the dent shows.
Gotcha.
Okay.
Yep.
Well, that explains that.
Full name.
Well, and that Enforcer car is a 65, 66 Imperial with a second roof welded on the back to make it look like a wagon?
Correct. It's a 65 Imperial that two-door that has the roof of another 64 Imperial that it was the outlaw car that preceded it that I got destroyed at another class.
Is it? And you built the car, right? You built that car. What was it like to sit behind the wheel of that thing and just pick people off at those dent shows?
The thing of it is, I did not drive it at the dent shows. I actually drove in the regular class. They just borrowed it to use at the dent shows. Ran the leaf spring wagons in the regular class. We let another guy drive it. I was actually out there with it, and that was one thing I told him. I didn't even want him to know, didn't want any favoritism. I told him, don't even tell him which car I'm in.
Nice.
Wow.
That's awesome.
That's
I met the guy that drove it really much.
That's awesome. And Jack, how does it feel? And I've been into derbying since I was a kid. I think everybody that's really into it knows who you are. And there isn't, if there was such thing as a Demolition Derby Hall of Fame, I bet there's not a consensus of that many guys that would be in it. But I bet every single guy out there would say you would be one of probably the first guys ever in the Demolition Derby Hall of Fame just because of all the awesome stuff that you've done in your career.
Oh, I doubt that. There'd be a lot of people in it.
Well,
I don't. But what he's saying is, I don't think there'd be as many people that would unanimously be voted in as you. I mean, I mean, all that your existence right now is even that of legend because did you build it? Did you not build it? Did you drive it? Did you not drive it? Is there two cars? Is there one car? I mean, the whole mystique around the whole enforcer thing unto itself is interesting enough. But you've done so much other stuff in your derby career that I gotta agree with Josh.
Thank you.
See, what most people think, the Iron Maiden and the Enforcer are the same car.
Right.
Is another hardcore outlaw car, or car that we call Skinwalker. It's the car that is not Iron Maiden with the top removed off of it. That's a completely separate car that like runs up a Blizzard Bash and stuff. They're not the same car. That one's a '64 Imperial.
Gotcha.
Also an Ironclad.
Ironclad is the one that has the subframe in it, right?
Yeah. So it has a subframe. That car, all the structure on the car that runs Blizzard Bash is, it's, you can see the wheels on it and stuff, but the whole car is every bit as heavy as Iron Maiden. It's just a different build designed. That one's been shortened for maneuver build. It's just a different style.
So let me ask you.
That's why people think there's two Iron Maiden cars probably. There are two of them, but the other one's not the Iron Maiden.
Right. When you start to build one fresh for a show, how do you attack that? Do you start on the inside of the car? Do you start on the outside car? Do you just start throwing metal at it and welding? What's your game plan when you start building one of those? Or, what is your game plan?
Well, the way Iron Maiden is built, it is a complete exoskeleton car. It's all braced inside, but it has a full skeleton on the outside of it. It's also got belly armor all the way under it. Because it's been set up, it's been revamped to actually do car crushing. We were car crushing it, stamped with it. They were actually running over cars with it. And so it's fully belly armored like a bulldozer is.
That's awesome.
I can remember when Dent was big, and it was probably about one of the only websites that was on the internet. They had one, it was in the Forerunner. This was back in the probably early 90s, mid 90s. And you'd look on there, and Jack Teagarden was a name you always saw.
Absolutely.
For either winning or, being there at the end, and, just pictures of his cars. And, I also got to agree that Jack, you are definitely one of the more well-known derby drivers and builders in
across
America.
The country. Yeah,
I mean,
across
it's
the
just,
country.
The highest I actually placed at a dent show was 4th down in Florida.
Wow.
The highest.
I would always have bad luck at the dent shows.
It just seemed like, you were always had your cars, and I remember reading your name all the time.
Definitely,
it was just awesome.
Steve, as much as you travel, did you ever have the chance to watch Jack drive?
Yeah, actually, I believe he ran in 2000 at the Speedrome the same time I did. Jack, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but
we actually ran with him.
Ran the same event together.
That's cool.
And I definitely saw the Enforcer cars, even though he wasn't driving them. So. And I went to Xenia, Ohio one year when I think Jack was in a wagon with a leaf spring pack under it, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, we ran many wagons with leaf springs, and they also carried the 3/4 ton front ends underneath them that this other car that I runs.
Wow.
That's where we developed the 3/4 ton system that that other outlaw cars running, was at the dent shows.
Now,
so cool.
Wow. The thing is you look at what those dent cars are. Or excuse me, those outlaw cars are. At the same time, I had a conversation at one point. You took a stock Crown Vic and went nose to nose with a '69 suicide door Lincoln, and it pretty much your car didn't move again from that point.
That was that car. I borrowed that off a friend of mine, and the car didn't have any brakes. And I actually ran in that was up at Platte. I ran in the 80s class with it. I got second or third in the 80s class, and then they let anybody that wanted to run with the old arm, which was they had suicides and everything out there. run, and I went out there. I guess I was the only one dumb enough to go out there, but I did. And the car didn't have any brakes. I went around the car coming across the track, and Jimmy was driving through the other way, and I hit Jimmy head on by accident.
And it never
done.
That was it. Yeah, that was. I mean, that was a real entertaining story, and Jimmy's telling me that that you are your own type of builder. That as hard as some of the stuff that we see get built, as hard as some of the stuff that has come out of your shop. At the same time, you don't necessarily go to that extreme every time you build a car.
No, it depends on the show.
Yep. Now, when you run a car that's that hard, and you're hitting cars equally as hard, do you start? Because it's got to hurt internally a little bit. Do you start like waving where you don't want to, or you enjoy that super hard hit when you hit those two ultra modifieds like that?
I have my cars padded like a jungle gym inside. If I bounce around, if you even looked in the cars that were up at like that Outlaw car that was up at the Blizzard Bash,
Yep.
That thing is padded with 3-inch thick padding. Anything I think I can hit is padded. If you pad your cars and run the headrest all the way up, you're not going to get roughed around as much. I've seen a lot of guys running these super hard cars with jagged metal sticking out inside of them.
Yeah, dangerous.
Very.
You got to look at anything that can get you, will get you.
Sure.
Jack, from
But that piece you think you ain't going to hit, you're going to hit it.
Yeah, definitely.
Somehow.
from back in the dent days when you guys would run the leafed wagons and leafed everything on the asphalt, how sore would you be after one of those shows? Because I can remember seeing pictures, and those cars were just bent. I mean, everybody's car was bent in 14 different ways, and they just looked like they had been through a war. I mean, you had to be physically sore after that show. Bad.
Actually, not really any worse than anything else.
Wow.
The sorest I've ever got, after races was, usually if I don't even really get sore after the outlaw classes. The ones that will, like really rough you up is, believe it or not, the little compacts and stuff will rough you up, but they bounce around so much.
Yeah, I agree with that.
The heavier the car, the less it really does. And I can't remember really being super sore after one of those races, and those cars got pretty bad.
Yeah.
I had one that I went out to the heat race, and it was so badly tore up, we cut the whole front end of it off, and all it had was the radiator in the front, no bumper or nothing. And I pulled into the lineup, and I was talking to a couple of the guys from North Dakota, and they started laughing. And I said, "What's going on?" They said, "You better go get your car." I said, "The guy that's towing the jet cars back has it." I was in the back of the line, and he seen the front end was messing off of it, and he snagged it, was heading off the track with it.
Nice.
That's awesome. That's
He thought I didn't need to run anymore.
That's funny. Now, when on those cars that are heavier, when you continually run them, what do you do with motors and trannies? You're virtually going to eat a tranny all the time, or are you getting rebuilt trannies, or what kind of gears are you running?
We build our own trannies pretty much, so trannies aren't much of an issue.
Mm-hmm.
We go up to a buddy of mine's shop and we'll do them. Well, I work at a Ford dealership.
Okay.
And our motors, sometimes I build my own. Some of my motors, a couple of them are like Grop motors.
Nice.
Rear ends, well, we hand make them pretty much.
Nice.
Steve?
Yes, Jack.
Yeah.
I want to kind of ask you a question that everyone has sort of been asking on Facebook, and it really, these guys are all asking us some fluff questions, but I'm going to do some hard-hitting questions right now. And we all know that the Enforcer is kind of like a soft spot for you, and that it holds a special place for you. But what is it going to take to get that thing back on a track again? Will it ever happen? Will you bring it back out and run it?
I don't know if it would or not. It would take me forever because I'd have to completely go through the car because it's been set for so many years.
Yeah.
And to build it to today's standards, that's the reason I have the other car. The other car is built with all the new, what I learned off that car is into that other car.
Right.
The other car is built for maneuverability. They're the same car, it's just a different build style.
Yep.
Actually, for competitive, it's actually basically turned into a car crusher now, with all the armor on the bottom that you don't need and that type of stuff.
Right.
You don't actually, for an outlaw need all that length.
Would you ever sell that, or is that just gonna?
Really, a friend of mine, being a friend of mine that has passed away, put it together for the Ghent show and stuff. I built it, and then he helped me. We done it the second time, and I probably would never sell it.
That's cool. What else is coming in on Facebook, Steve?
Huh?
Anything on
I was
Facebook?
just checking on the Facebook page. Josh Wagner checked in, said hi. And that's really about all that's going on through the Facebook page right now. Our live chat room is down. Yeah. We apologize for that, but we're working on it. And I know I've been kind of racking through some of the old stuff I've seen on like the United States Demolition Derby page that's run by Andrew Schumacher. I know he's a friend of Jack's as well. And a lot of people ask questions about that car, so I wanted to make sure I touched on some of that.
Cool.
Yeah.
It's just so cool that car's still around, but Jack was telling me that there's cars that were Derby cars back in the late 80s that are still on the grounds out there at his compound.
What?
That is awesome.
Hey, start a museum and let us just come walk through your yard. I'd love to do that. Cars from the 80s sitting around?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
You said, Jack, right? You still have a car from 1987 that was a Derby car in 1987?
Yeah. The ones that I have that were around in the 80s are the old Imperials. The one that the Iron Maiden is built out of, it started about I'm going to think Maiden was built in 80, probably 7, I'm going to guess. I'd have to look at the first trophy it had to know the exact year, but I think 87. And the car that was at Blizzard Bash, that car has been a Derby car since probably 1989.
Oh my God.
That is awesome.
07. That's awesome. That's so awesome.
That's great.
Wow, that's cool.
But see, the old iron cars, they just don't, the ones built like that, those are full-on outlaw. See, what everybody's doing now is kind of almost outlaw, but it's not enough that the cars are really holding up.
That's true.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You can't do enough that the cars last really long, but they're so hard that, a lot of these 80s cars will drive through an old car now.
Jack, what do you think of the state of the Derbies in right now? What do you think about the way the builds are?
I think it'll eventually start softening up again, because what generally happens, like when Iron Maiden, when we first built that car, that's what we evolved to was that. I destroyed 2 Imperials before. That was the third in a line of Imperials I was running in the Outlaw class. I destroyed the first 2. So then it finally gets totally nuts. Okay, then they go back to putting their stock stuff. I think we're probably headed back that way for a while.
You think so?
Because, see, the hard cars, the thing of it is, we would get down to where on those cars you wouldn't get none of them showed up because nobody wants to run against it.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
It's coming back, I think, to the same. It'll eventually come back to the same thing because it will eventually start running cars off, I think. If you'll notice, the stock classes are drawing more than the hard classes anymore. And it's just like a cycle. It goes in that, it seems like.
I like the people that say, well, I ran my car 10 times, I ran my car 12 times. Yeah, well, my car's been a Derby car since 1989.
That's so awesome.
That's great.
It's run 10 times and 12 times. If it's a regular car and it's run that many times, all that says is it doesn't run very good.
Exactly, Jack. Exactly.
But now, if you can run one, I have one car I ran probably 5 times. But that's just because the piece of junk, something kept happening to it.
Right. That's so
I did have
true.
one Chrysler that ran 5 times, and the lowest place it ever got was 4th, and it won 3 times. But
Wow.
that's that's the exception, not the rule.
Right. Exactly.
Generally,
So since 1989, do
you
the
can't
math.
win. So if you get in the top places, you're doing good.
89 to 99, so there's 10, and then to 2009,
That's
there's
20.
20, and now
It's creeping in on 30 years.
It's coming up 25 years anyway. In 25 years, it's run how many times? I mean, it's got to be running. It's got to must have been run at least once every year in that whole time, right?
What's that now?
That car that we saw at Blizzard Bash last year, that car's coming up on being about 25 years old or so. How many times has that car actually run? Has it run over 20 times?
Oh no, that car got shut down. We ran it. It took second at the Thunderdome out in Nebraska, the Civic Center. Back when they had that, then right after that, they pretty much shut us down on our Imperials again. It it was built to a standard. It was not built where I could run it. So then I run some other Imperials. That car just kind of set for a little bit. Then it came back at running, I ran it as a Pro Mod class. Then it ended up getting built into a Outlaw Imperial. So it just kept getting revamped.
Right.
just heavier and heavier.
Right,
and heavier.
right. That's awesome.
Jack, how many shows a year do you actually run now? Just total.
So I think last year, I didn't do as much last year. I think I hit about 5 last year.
Wow. That's still pretty active.
I've been running quite a few more of the stock class because between the farming and stuff like that I got and work, it takes so long to build them.
Right.
For one show in Iowa, I had to take off 6 days vacation just to build a car.
Wow.
Even with all the stuff, it takes so long to build a car.
Right.
That's what, I think that's what, why a lot of the stock classes are coming back, because, people don't want to spend, a lot of people, they don't want to spend the time to build a car, even if you've got all the stuff laying there.
Right. That's why Josh.
Of all of it and stuff, but, like I say, the stock class is just quicker.
That's why Josh gets 95% of his building done in January, because it only takes 3 days to do a car.
Right, exactly. I'm building junk, though, so.
Yeah, but Josh has got a crew that works for him now, too. He's went to the Brett Riley school, and now he's got a crew.
Friends. They're called friends, Brian.
Crew.
I got friends.
He's not familiar with that term.
No.
I don't trust many people. That's my problem. I'm not a trusting soul.
Well, you ain't going to get any cars built that way, buddy.
Not a trusting soul.
Buy some beer and some pizza and stuff gets done,
Jack, what have you got planned for this year? I mean, I'm hoping to see you again in November at Blizzard Bash, but where else are you going to be running this summer?
Haven't really decided much yet. I'm out in the process now, kind of cleaning up at the house and stuff. I got a pretty good mess. Got to get some stuff hauled out and stuff and get cleared out a little bit. And I'm going to do that first. I'm going to hit, do a few of the stock shows. I haven't really decided on, where I maybe thought about running State Fair. Not sure. My wife, I think she's going to run Powder Puff at Blizzard Bash, and I'm going to bring the Outlaw up.
Nice. Cool.
What you got, Steve?
Jack, I got a question from a viewer listening online, Justin Montgomery. He says I should ask you about getting lost on your way to the Derby and going to the wrong Derby and winning it.
What? Tell that story.
Well, that was years ago, and back when you had county fairs all over, and we were going to one about probably 70 miles from the house, and I was supposed to meet Todd Constable and some others up there. I get up there, they're not there. So I went ahead and unloaded because I figured something happened. They didn't go. Get done. Ended up winning the race. Got home, and Todd calls me and said, "How come you didn't show up to the race?" Well, I said, "I did. I won." I said, "How come you didn't show up?" He said, "You didn't show up to the right one, evidently, then."
That's awesome.
That is great.
We're about 20 miles apart, the two races, and I got lost and got to following a Derby car, and I followed that one to the track.
That's cool.
That is awesome.
Cool. I don't have a real good sense of direction. It wasn't as bad as the one where I went out and was driving around following a car around over in Kansas, because he had Kansas plates in a Derby car. Finally, he pulls over, and I said, "You know where you're going?" I said, "No, I was following you." He said, "Well, I'm from the far part of Kansas, so I don't know where anything is out
here." Did you guys eventually make it to the Derby that day?
Oh, finally, yeah.
Yeah. And how did you do?
Well, I don't remember on that particular one what I got, but but I do remember the trip getting there.
That's funny.
Wow. Jack, how many years have you been building and driving now?
Since '82.
Wow. So how old's Josh Decker?
31.
There you go.
31 years. That's so awesome, Jack.
That is really
Have you
cool.
ever had a season that you didn't run at all?
No.
That's awesome. That's going to be me, sir.
Over 31 years, is there any one, I mean, you've touched on a couple good stories and stuff, but is there any one Derby that stands out in your mind, being that it was a really good night or a really bad night?
Well, it was one of them, I decided that I wasn't going to even run the car because everything had went wrong. It was a Chevy wagon, the first Chevy wagon we actually ran. And everything that could happen did happen. Got to the track. Back then we didn't have a trailer, so we towed with the wrecker with the tow tires in the front. Got so misconstrued on everything, trying to fix the oil leaks and stuff that it developed when we got there. Forgot and ran with the tow tires. Ended up winning the race on an asphalt track. It was like a $1,200 race, like way back in the 80s.
Nice.
It was big money back then.
Nice.
And ran with the tow tires on and never flattened any of them. I had half of them flat.
That's awesome.
That's great.
Wow.
And sometimes it's better to be lucky than good or have the best car.
Sure. Absolutely.
Sure.
Can't argue with that.
Yeah, there's a lot to be said for luck.
Yes, it is.
Is there any nights that you remember that luck was not that kind to you?
Oh, many of them.
Yeah? Tell us about one, because your stories so far have been awesome.
Like kids around a campfire.
Well, I had one. I had, let me think of what some of the, okay. One of them, we got to a track, probably about a 70-mile-away track, and, it got down. I went down there with Todd and a couple others. Well, we were getting taken out pretty fast. We went to a team, so we didn't have a team with us. And so Todd's up on the berm, and then one of them hit me, an Impala, hits me head on, and put me through the dirt bank. It hit hard enough it knocked me out.
Whoa.
So I come around, and I'm sitting here, I'm thinking, my stick's still up, I can't be out. So I jumped the car back in the track. This car wasn't good because it was in a 74 Impala. I think I bellied it more jumping in than anything else. I crossed the track and hit a Cadillac head on that I mistook for the Impala to hit me out. That's the end of my derby night.
Yeah, some nights go that way.
Yeah, sometimes that sort of thing happens.
I've been there, sir.
Yeah, because they was telling me, said, man, you done a good job getting even with that Cadillac. But he didn't do anything.
So when you weren't running the heavier cars, what was your car of choice?
What? When on the running Impalas and stuff, my car of choice was like a 74 Impala wagon.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Hard to argue.
And
definitely.
because it was back then we were doing quick bill, so that had the right bumper on it, everything.
Exactly.
We run generally 74 to 76. We ran everything. I ran Pontiacs and everything else. I even run several Chryslers.
Mm-hmm.
I also like the Chrysler humpback wagons, the 04 to 78 Chrysler wagons.
Definitely.
Absolutely.
We ran several old Fords right off the start. At first, all we ran was Fords.
Mm-hmm.
Heard that before.
70s or 60s?
We ran, I ran from 59 to 64 Fords.
Yeah, yeah.
Yep.
Those would be the old ones.
Definitely. That's the best ones.
Yeah. I've heard that from Harold Benjamin, and I heard it from the Snyders back in the day.
Oh, yeah, everyone used to
started out
run
running them old Fords, they said.
Sure.
That was awesome.
And now everybody wants them again.
Yeah. Now they want the new Fords.
Well, yeah, that's true, too. Ben's got
several
some stuff for
boxcar
Fords.
Imperials, the square Imperials. I've never actually ran a Hammerhead Imperial. I've used the subs out of them, but I've never actually ran the car, because every race we ran at, you could run either or, and my choice was the old Imperial over the Hammerhead.
But you know what's funny, Jack, is like when we get out your way, everyone says that everywhere Imperials are banned. And at Blizzard Bash, I said to people, the reason why is because you look at Jack's car. That's why Imperials are banned out here. Not if it was stock Imperials, people wouldn't be so upset, you know? And it's, you know, really.
Yeah, but when you have one that doesn't bend at all.
Yeah, it's like, those are outlawed. I understand that. But Imperials do bend, actually.
Every place in our area, any place close, you can't run, you know, an Imperial. And even if they let you run an Imperial, you only run the late model.
Yeah. Yeah. The
We've
subframe.
got some late models sitting around, but, you know, there's really no place for us to run them.
Oh, you're saying like 74? Or you're saying
No. Late
67?
model, 67
Yeah.
to
73.
73.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, 74 is a Newport.
Yeah, well, exactly. Well,
Yeah, Josh.
Yeah, Josh, come on. Don't you know Mopars?
I do. Well, they did make Imperials in 74.
So it's 74 Imperial. It gets a Monaco bumper and run. Nobody will say a thing about it. It's basically a Monaco.
Definitely.
You know, contrary to everybody else does, like a 74 Imperial, we run it with a flat bumper, not a, pointy.
Definitely not. Those are frame benders.
Yeah.
I've never run. I run one Chrysler with a pointy on the front of it, and that's the last one that I ran that way.
Yeah, I only put them on Imperials.
Preferably a Fury bumper.
Yeah.
If I didn't have a Fury, we'd run a Monaco bumper.
Jack, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Chris.
How's Facebook looking? We got anything on Facebook?
Nothing else right now.
No.
What I am hearing, though, I got a few texts. Apparently, I'm the one that's not able to get in the chat room. Everybody else is already in there. So I'm hearing through text messages that we've got about 16 or 17 people in the chat room.
Looking for SBM announcing to
they're all
moderate.
having a good time chatting about the show.
Cool.
But I'm not able to get in. So
I'm sorry, dude. Sorry. We are just about out of time.
Jack, do you have any idea how many wins you have?
Actually not.
Over 100?
I didn't think so, but I just
10, 12.
I mean, I just figured I'd ask.
I don't know. It's been a while since we counted trophies. Of course, that won't be heat trophies and everything. Oh, and a lot of places, most places don't give them. There was like 250 some trophies and stuff that we counted up. But like I say, as far as wins, I mean, it's hard to say.
250 trophies, huh?
Have you ever thought about retiring, or just deep in you always said to yourself, I'm going to run till I literally cannot run anymore?
I haven't really thought about it much.
That's cool. Awesome.
And actually, I forgot, in all the times that we've talked, how old are you?
What, 52?
Oh, you're still a youngster.
Yeah, you still got a long way to go.
52, that ain't bad.
I don't know. 20 more years of derby and is like, I don't know if my body can take it. I want it to, but.
But you know what? And this is the truth.
You got to pad your car up like a jungle gym.
Well, that's a good idea because I get beat up in there.
Jack's probably one of those guys that's always had a physical job.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Good shape.
He's always in good shape,
Mm-hmm.
and that's it. Where if you have a more physical job, your body's more used to it, and
I agree with that.
You recover quicker. You know, and that's
Yeah, I'm a diesel mechanic.
Yep, that'll do it. I'm sure it's very rarely you sit on your chair and don't do anything as a diesel mechanic.
Yeah, pretty much so. That and run an alignment rack and all that. So I'm crawling around underneath the alignment rack and stuff. So yeah.
Yep,
Let's put it this way: boots don't last very long.
See, there you go. You know, that's just it. I mean, a lot of the guys, a lot of the derby guys, they have jobs like that, and it keeps them in shape.
I need a job like that.
It sure does help. It sure does help.
Absolutely.
Jack, thanks for coming on, man. It's so awesome to talk
awesome
to you.
to have you on, Jack. We really appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks for calling.
Yeah, Jack, thanks a lot. We look forward to catching up with you again. Jimmy Johnson said that he's going to find you and drag you up to the booth in Topeka, and we'll get a chance to meet you face to face.
You guys were probably real close because at the time that I think at the time you were probably doing interviews. I was laying in the floor of Chicken's car, and we were trying to string the floor pan up to the roof because it was bailing out. Because I could hear you, some interviewing going on there, and that was probably the time you was doing it.
we were looking for you.
Definitely.
But
definitely. We'll catch you next time.
We're gonna find you down there. We appreciate you coming on tonight, and look forward to catching up with you again.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks,
Jack.
There goes Jack Teagarden.
I'm running for 20 more years.
One of the most entertaining characters you're going to come across in Demolition Derby. I just want to make a quick mention. Total Destruction Demo Productions online, www.totaldestructiondemo. Jump on there, check them out. New rules package, allowing the 03 Newers and allowing the Imperials. You can see them at the Ontario County Fair at the end of July. Also see them at the Morris Fair and the Boulogne Fair the first week of August. That's 2, 4, and 10 now. They've added one more date. They're going to have trucks, rollover contest. A lot of cool stuff going on with those guys. Also, looks like they will be they'll be rolling out a new website here before too awful long, and wish those guys the best as they get ready to roll that stuff out. Ben Haas, of course, regular contributor here on the show, and he's our lead tech inspector. I guess he was having a little bit of a hard time over at Josh's house last night.
Well,
there's some questions.
We had Gully there, and of course,
basically you set the trap for him is what you did.
Yeah, Gully
said,
come
hey.
over, and Ben came over, and then Gully attacked him about rules, and you can see Ben saying "Shut up and leave me alone, Gully. I'm sick of you."
But we got the sauce coming up at 8 o'clock tonight. That's going to pretty much do it. We're going to stick a fork in episode number 25. Thanks to Cory Horton, Wounded Warrior Project. Get on Facebook, track Cory down. ask him a lot of questions. If you're trying to get more information specifically on Wounded Warrior, we can get you some more information directly if you want to contact us as well. And a big thanks to Jack Teagarden, by far and away one of the most entertaining guys in Demolition Derby that cool. You're ever going to come across. Accidentally found his way to a derby that he wasn't planning on going to and won the thing.
And won it. Yeah. He didn't even know the rules.
Yeah, didn't even know.
Yeah, what the hell?
That's awesome.
That is pretty cool. Steve Bucknam, thanks a lot for hanging out with us on the Skype hotline. We appreciate you coming and hanging out with us week in and week out. And there's a good look at Steve. I don't know how bad the delay is, if you can hear us. There you go. Big thumbs up from Steve. We're Josh Decker, Brian Tompkins. I'm Chris Marquardt. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you back here next time.
Bye-bye. Hey, Josh.